Okay, so we have some confirmations from James Gunn as to who is remaining in their roles for the DCU. Now, the first name they mentioned was, where'd it go? Was Zolo Mariduena, who, of course, plays Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, which, as an aside, Warner Brothers also released on YouTube the first 10 minutes of that movie. I guess because he's continuing in that role, they want people to watch the movie, even though God knows how much of it is canon. As far as we know, he's the only one who's going to be used going forward. So I don't know if that means that the rest of his family will be recast, if they're just going to do a different origin for him, or if there's more to it, and James Gunn just mentioned a few characters. But anyway, so Zolo is one. Then we have John Cena and Viola Davis, who are, of course, Peacemaker and Amanda Waller. Which I'm really excited about Amanda Waller because I like her. She plays bad so good. She really does. I do enjoy Amanda Waller. John Cena, I've never seen the Suicide Squad movie. I didn't watch any of Peacemaker because it just looked completely ridiculous. I just followed the plot. But I didn't actually watch the show. So but what little I've seen of his acting, I have no problem with it. I really don't. And like I mentioned, there's the first 10 minutes of Blue Beetle is now online, which I watched, and so I'm perfectly fine with Zolo staying in that role. And also from Peacemaker, where is it? Also from Peacemaker is Freddie Stoma, who plays Vigilante. So those are the four that he mentioned. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't more. So I'm not going to hold it to him that it's a hard fast, only those four. But it seems like Ezra Miller is out, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think a lot of people are, because number one, many people weren't a fan of their interpretation of Barry Allen. Actually, we were hella annoyed. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the fact that Grant Gustin's Flash was on at the same time on TV. So you had that contrast. So there's that. Now, Jason Momoa has been talking about reprising his role as Aquaman. Or at least that's what we thought he was saying. Because he said he's, always going to be Aquaman, but he can do other characters too. So, two things of that. Number one, he's flat out lying. And, that he isn't going to be playing Aquaman anymore. But these other characters is probably going to be Lobo. That's what I've been hearing, is that he's going to be playing Lobo. So he could be completely lying. Or, well, I shouldn't say completely, because the other character would be Lobo. Or he just doesn't want to spoil things. He didn't want to spoil things for the new DCU, so he wants to keep people guessing, which I don't know why. That's just going to ensure that his second movie is going to tank. But James Gunn mentioned that Blue Beetle would show up in the DCU, and apparently that movie didn't do so well. The difference, of course, is in the skin tone of the actors. One is Hispanic, the other one isn't. I mean, yeah, I guess technically he has some Samoan blood or something, but he looks white. So I'm sure a lot of people would be perfectly fine with that. But anyway, because racism seems to be all the rage right about now. Anyway, so either Jason Momoa is only going to be playing Lobo, and that he completely lied about playing Aquaman, or James Gunn has no intention of using that character anymore in his DCU, which technically then Jason Momoa was being truthful that he's the only one who will ever play Aquaman, because if nobody else is cast, if they don't use the character anymore, well, technically he's right. Nobody else is going to play Aquaman, so he's not wrong. Except for it being that that's because they're not using the character anymore, not because. So that's also an option. Or now James Gunn did say even before Blue Beetle that Zolo was going to appear in the new DCU. But he hasn't said anything about Aquaman. So, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't want to bring it up yet? That would make no sense because the movies are tanking anyway. Even if he's desperately trying to tell people, no, this is gonna be relevant. Because we don't know what's going to be canon. Anybody who follows the multiverse, whether it be Marvel or DC, whatever multiverse you follow, they can pick and choose what is going to be canon and what isn't in this new universe. Because that's how the multiverse works. It's not going to be a completely different character. There's going to be bits and pieces from previous iterations. Because no person, just because there's two of you, doesn't mean the other person is a completely different you. It just means that there might be some similarities. You're just not exactly the same. So anyway, that's for Jason Momoa. Now, Gal Gadot, she also said that she's been in talks with James Gunn, and that she is that she loves the Wonder Woman character. Now, he didn't say anything about her being confirmed as going to be moving forward in the DCU, but it, just like Jason Momoa, it could simply be that she is continuing, just not as Wonder Woman. It could be a Wonder Woman adjacent character. Paradise Lost is one of the projects that James Gunn is working on in his chapter 1 of the DCU. So it's possible that she could be playing a different character on Themyscira. It could be she's playing Hippolyta. It could be she's playing a different Amazon. We don't know. I mean, they brought Linda Carter back at the end of Wonder Woman 2 to play a different Amazon. So it's entirely possible that they're going to bring her back, but she's going to be playing a different character, but it's going to be Wonder Woman adjacent. So her comments about Wonder Woman meaning so much to her isn't going to be completely tossed aside. There's going to be some relevance to it. Like I said, I hope this means that Ezra is completely being kicked to the curb. I mean, I wish no ill will on them, but they just weren't a very good Barry Allen. They just weren't. Um, I saw them in Fantastic Beasts. I thought they were okay, but there wasn't a lot to work with Fantastic Beasts because their character was very broody. So, you know, it doesn't take a lot of an acting range to do that. So, anyway, um I don't believe, now they did mention early on, James Gunn mentioned that he and Henry Cavill, even though he's obviously not going to be Superman anymore, were in talks for him to play another character. So maybe he might play another Kryptonian. If it's similar to Gal Gadot, what I think of her, of what she's going to be doing, maybe he's going to be playing another Kryptonian. Maybe it's going to be Jor-El. Maybe it's going to be a different Kryptonian. We don't know. We just know that they were in talks. So I wouldn't close the door on Henry Cavill being completely done with the DCU. It could still happen. Ben Affleck, we know, is out because he removed himself. Even though he made jokes after The Flash, he finally figured out how to play Batman. And so he wanted to give it another shot. He knows his limitations. He knows that that this is not good for him physically or mentally. So he removed himself, which was the very adult thing to do. Realizing that this was just not working for you. So there's that. The last Justice League character, which I don't think comes as a surprise for anyone who, in this case, is probably, just like Ezra, probably not coming back, is Cyborg. Now, it's not that people didn't like the character, but the actor, whose name is escaping me right now, the actor is, he and WB Studios, he and DCU are like this. They do not like each other. He accused, I think it was J.J. Abrams, of racism. I mean, I can see why, in some cases, how he was thinking that, because Cyborg initially was supposed to be a bigger part of the movie, and he was practically completely cut out. So, based on, what his part was supposed to be. So, I can see but I think he went a little far. Basically, he sounds to me, if the reports can be believed, he sounds to me like he was taking it like anything that he did not like had to be racism. Anything that was even a minor perceived slight to him had to be racism. Not everything is because of the color of your skin, dude. So he even accused James Gunn, because James Gunn had the mortal sin of being friends with J.J. Abrams, which, considering the horrible person that is J.J. Abrams, the sexist pig that is J.J. Abrams, I can see why you would think that, that there might be something to James Gunn. But that's a problem with guilt by association. People are friends with others because of certain qualities, certain things they get along with, and they don't talk about that other part. or he didn't even know that things were this bad with J.J. Abrams, and, that this whole saga affected their friendship. But to just assume that because you know a certain side to someone, that someone who's friends with them must know that side is just ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, those two are definitely not coming back. Cyborg and Flash the actors are definitely not coming back. The other three, I'm James said that those three, either he hinted or they hinted themselves at the fact that they're coming back. So it's just a matter of in what capacity, in what role, are they going to be in any of the projects that he announced? I don't think Henry Cavill is. I think he already said that Henry Cavill is. But we don't know. It's a guessing game. And since the actor strike is still going on, we're not going to get any new information anytime soon, probably. Because, yes, the writer strike has been settled, and so now James Gunn can start teasing things. I don't think he can, I don't know, maybe he can tease if something has already been settled. I think he can do that, but I don't know if anything has been settled anymore. I don't know if he has anything new to give us. He did say that more news should be coming soon. I don't know if this is it or if he's talking about other stuff. But anyway, I'm rambling. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.